Hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. When I look across America, I see how the hard work, the fortitude, the sweat and blood, the tears that the men that came before us is being wasted, is being spit upon, is being laughed at by the current generation that doesn't really know any real struggle. And while it's easy to find a faction or a cause or a group to attach yourself to point the finger at somebody, the truth is, if you look at this country in the context of the world, this is the best place to be. And that's why people try to flee other countries to come to America. If it was so oppressive, if it was so dangerous, if it was such a terrible place to be, that wouldn't be the case. But because we've become sheep, easily led, easily ignited, and we have factions that have split our country into shreds, and we're at the cusp of a destruction that is absolutely terrifying. Two things that we've lost in this country, two things that we have absolutely destroyed, is our God and our men. And today, instead of strong men, we have a bunch of weak cowards wearing different masks, pretending to be these tough guys, these pseudo tough guys, these fucking cowards that spend all of their time pretending to be something. But the moment the fire hits their feet, you see what they're truly made of. What we need today is our God and our men. Unfortunately, because we've given way to sexual depravity, because we've saw fit to murder our babies in the womb because it didn't fit the agenda of the mother, because we saw fit to wage a war against poor people and wage a war against other people that have resources that we need to keep our empire moving. Because we've turned a blind eye to so many different things, accepted the unacceptable, normalized things that should never be normalized, started to admire the abominations. God didn't need us to abandon him, her. God didn't need to wait for that. We were abandoned a long time ago. The hand of our protection was moved from this country a long time ago. And since that time, we have slid into hell almost knowingly, because it's been sold to us as heaven. We've destroyed our men. We've destroyed our men in the same breath that we've destroyed our women, by encouraging women to act like men. We've thrown all morality and pretty much done away with everything that was held sacred in marriage. We have pawned it off to hookup apps and instant gratification culture. So in a one fell swoop, We've vaulted the women to a point of liberation, and in the same time we have destroyed men and their view of women at the same time. We've come to almost normalize pedophilia. People at the highest level complicit, Jeffrey Epstein's list, being held secret probably because it would rock the world if we knew what was on that man's hard drive. But yet we want to hold up signs and pretend that the people that were complicit in this stuff, the people that are complicit in trying to turn humanity into a virus with a Green New Deal veiled as a sustainable project, when the end game is to depopulate the earth. Everything that we're seeing is the only reason why we're seeing it is because our country is full of weak men that allow it. Our forefathers wrote in the documents that we hold so high. They put amendments, and there were things in these documents. There were statements that were made. There were warnings about the very things that we face today. And while we so proudly wear the flag, we men in this country have forgotten really what it means to be patriotic Americans. And we allow these cowards to destroy our country for profit. America needs God and men to come back to this country. And the only way that God's going to come back to this country is if the men hit their knees and repent from what we've done. And this is by no means it's not a evangelical message, but it is a call to arms, man. It is a call to arms. It is a call to action. In a few months, the most critical decision that we'll make in our country's history will be made. And for all intents and purposes, it looks like one side, the side that seeks to destroy our country, the side that propagates, endorses, and allows the destruction that we've seen over the past couple of months, is looking to find a way to steal this election from a president that has turned this country around from the same cartel that wishes to destroy it further. And instead of falling for all of the bullshit that we see on the media, fighting amongst each other, perhaps it's time to turn around and look at the people that truly hold the strings in this, the people that truly stand to gain from our destruction. Are we going to listen to celebrities from their $1 million homes telling us white people to feel guilty for being born white? Or ignorant black people crying for reparations that they'll only blow on Jords and fucking rims? The truth of the matter is there's a lot of people in America that are too scared to speak up and tell the truth. They're too scared to stand too. That's not okay right now. There's a lot of colored people that don't want reparations. They just want a fair opportunity. And I agree with that. America's been a hypocritical nation for a long time. All we need to do is understand that, acknowledge it, correct it. Does that come by handouts? Absolutely not. And from what I can see, she's done a pretty good job. I don't understand white privilege because there's no white affirmative action. That is a hand up, hand out for black folks. There are so many programs, so many ways out of hell, and those things were created by white people for black people. But if you listen to The crabs in the bucket. America hates all black people and there's no way out. White people, if you'd have known slaves, if you haven't oppressed someone with the slavery, Jim Crow, if you haven't done these things, then you have nothing to feel guilty about. You're no more guilty, you're no more punishable for being born white than they are to be born black. It's time that men stand up and start talking to each other like men instead of this over emotional reaction that has come from the destruction of our family. We're a feminized, pussified nation. And it's time that we stand up. It's time that we wake up. I'm not perfect. I've got a lot of holes. And the reason why I'm making these videos is because I need to. My soul won't rest if I stay quiet. My soul won't rest if I don't try to rally men to stand to. And if there's no one to lead the way, then I'll do it. I'll do it. So what's the next move? What's the next course of action? Look at the man that you see in the mirror and ask yourself how you got there. How did you get where you are now? Why do you believe what you believe? Why do you do what you do? And what is your ultimate purpose for being here? For me, I want to be the man that I wish that I would have had in my life. And what that means is, when I look in the mirror, I want to be able to respect the man that I see. And brother, I'm working on that. And I got a lot of work to do. But I'm willing to be honest. I wrote a program a little bit over a year ago that I used to work through, at the time, what was the hardest part of my life. And I realized that one of the biggest obstacles that I was facing, that I was a liar. I told a bunch of lies, I propagated a bunch of lies, I believed them and I lived them and I made them come true. And it wasn't until I stopped trying to blame everybody else and could look at the man that was in the mirror and see that I didn't like that dude at all. And the reason was that he was a liar, he was a loser, because he believed those lies. And once I turned that around, everything started to change. And I went through my life systematically and looked at all the things that I believed that weren't true, or questioned the ones that I believed that were. And in doing that, I went for 90 days of facing the hardest shit and doing the hardest shit that I ever had to do, and asking for guidance and answers and getting them. So what I'm going to do now, we have a little bit over 100 days until we have this election. And I believe that the best thing that we can do as men is not try to go outside and change the world from the outside in, but to look at the man in the mirror and ask ourselves, what is that man doing to make the world a better place? On Monday, I'm going to start this program again. And anybody who wants to join me on this program, follow the links that are in this video. They're still under construction, but I'll do my best to field all of the incoming emails and stuff. I'm doing it all by myself. This program will cost you nothing, but it will be the most of a valuable thing that we do as men in our entire lives at this point. It won't be easy, but it will be the most important thing that you do, not just for what we're dealing with right now, but who you're going to be from this day forward. It's time to stop the divisiveness. In my opinion, there's two types of people in America: Americans and traitors. That's it. All of the other things do not matter. when it comes time to go to war, it will be Americans and traitors. Cowards, men. Which side are you going to be on? It's time to figure that out. Out.